Welcome. Thank you all for coming this evening. We have a really exciting competition. We have 17 teams, which is a record for this event. So we're really delighted about that. And I would like to thank Hans Jewelers for being our event sponsor once again, and all of those people who sponsor teams. All of the money from the event goes to the annual fund that supports collections here at the library. So thank you very much. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you Jennifer Whitmore and Bill Nusser, who will be our MCs for the evening and who promise us a fun competition. Good luck to everybody.
Well, good evening, everybody. For the people who are, when you're up here on this show, you're on this show for life because it's broadcast forever. It's the definition of eternal life. And the way you can tell what year it is by what we're wearing.
That's right.
And I think this is the last of the rainbow that I could possibly get. We'll have to start repeating next year. Outside right now, we've seen a blizzard today, we've seen sunshine, we've seen rain, we've seen snow, we've seen sleet. And if you're watching this during the summer, just know that all these people brave the elements. We had sick people tonight, and it's a testament to this incredible audience here that we found substitute spellers who came in and volunteered to spell for sick teams. So here's to those people.
That's right. Of course, we don't know their names. We just found them out there on the sidewalk. But with 17 teams, we thought, get comfortable. We may be here. It's icy out. Who wants to go out in the weather anyway? We'll just stay for quite a while. Pillows and things will be provided later.
And,
Should we introduce some of these other folks?
We can, and if you get hungry, we have refreshments by Hy-Vee here, wonderful cookies and water and all of this stuff. So hunker down, I guess they say, and we're ready to go. So who are our teams, Jennifer? Who are our officials?
Oh, no, we have officials first. Officials always come first because they're the ones up here, so we get to introduce them first. We have the pronouncers who will give you the words. We have Ron Prosser, right here to my left. And then we have the lady that I like to call the wild word woman, Kathy Moyers. Kathy will be giving you her audience participation words later. And for those of you who haven't been here before, they're really interesting. I think she spends all year looking for them. And if you don't have an audience participation sheet and would like to have one, raise your hand and we'll make sure that you get one of those.
See him at the desk. And I don't think Kathy will be that wild tonight. Her husband's here. The judges, I'd like to introduce are Dr. Charles DePross and Maggie Conroy. And they should be excellent judgmental judges for us. And we hope we don't have to use them.
Yes, and you're supposed to look very stern. And they're not looking very stern right now. You're supposed to look very stern. Our timer is a library director, Susan Craig. Susan is down here, and she will wave this little pink thing at you, and that means time. 10 seconds. Okay, it means 10 seconds. And then when she comes up and whacks you with it, that means you must sit down.
And finally, back by popular demand, we have our sound effects person, Maeve Clark, who every year just adds a little spice to the and drama to the spelling presentation.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Now, Bill told you that Hy-Vee was kind enough to provide us with some cookies and some water and things. We also should mention that prizes are being donated by the Prairie Lights Bookstore and the Book Inn and the Iowa City Public Library's used bookstore.
Great. So are we ready to find out who these 12 teams are?
It's a sea of people out there. Let's introduce them all.
All right.
Okay, now, Bill promised he would write this big enough so I wouldn't have to use my glasses, but we'll see.
So I wouldn't have to use glasses.
That's right. Our first team, and I think a new team this year, is the West High Spellcasters, sponsored by Zapp's Learning Company.
And the spellers are, and correct me if I'm wrong in the spelling, wherever you are, the Courtney Hall, Erica Miranda Bartlett, and Ann Myers. Is that right? Good.
Okay,
Good
welcome.
luck.
The Letterhead, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
And the spellers there are Dan McCulley, Dave Moore, and Wayne Patton. Correct? Great.
We have the Spell Checkers, sponsored by Anonymous.
Ooh, how nice. And we have Christine Fitch, Carolyn Lieberg, and Tom Rockland.
We have the ACT, A-C-T, like spellers, sponsored by Pogo and Friend.
And here we have Linda Leidiger, Pete Robinson, and Rick Williams.
The Spellbinders, who are the Hoover school teachers, and their students are out there watching, we hope, sponsored by Dudley Brothers Company.
And their spellers are Ann Allaire, Frank Ostroff, and Cecilia Rodabush. And I see Julie Wirtz here in the audience. She's a Hoover school person, so don't disappoint her.
And it's Fran.
Oh, Fran, I'm sorry.
Here, there's a
Okay,
glass.
I get it, sorry.
The Knutson Spelunkers, sponsored by Knutson Construction Services.
And they are Margaret Melliker, Kelly Melliker, and Ed Rarrett. And Margaret and Kelly, is it right that you're mother and daughter? Is that right? You're subbing for Dave Melliker. Dave signed us up and couldn't make it. Is that the Dave Melliker that I went to university schools with? We'll have to talk to him.
And
Good
it took
luck.
two of you to sub for him, so. Okay, and
No, to
next
make
we
up
have
for him.
Savants, sponsored by McGrath Financial Services.
And their team people are Holly Herco, Duke McGrath, and Julie Stebrel. Stebrel.
Stebrel.
Did we mispronounce that a lot?
That's
A
why I
lot.
made him do
Stebrel.
all of the
Okay,
names.
Got it.
We have the WOW back again, the Women of Words, sponsored by Julie Pokrabic, there I did it, of Phelan Tucker Law Firm.
And their spellers are Dory Butler, Therese Lacrosse, and Marta Little.
Yeah, my last name is misspelled.
Oh, how do we do that? That's all right, I couldn't read it anyway. No, how is it spelled?
Lacasse.
Lacasse. Lacasse, all right, Teresa
I
Lacasse.
want you to know that my 15-year-old son said, "Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to watch you guys on TV." And I said, "Oh, how nice." He said, "Yeah, I'll write down all the mistakes you and Bill make."
So,
So,
Ian, we hope
he's
you have
probably got a whole page full by now. Okay. The Thinkin' Lincoln School Teachers, sponsored by the Lensing Funeral and Cremation Services.
And we have a substitute here. We have Dan, is it Maskell? Is that? Maskell, okay. I missed that one too. Elaine Tarnutzer and Nancy Weber. Okay.
The Iowa Mennonite School, sponsored by McComas Lucina.
And Iowa Mennonite, the spellers are Jeff Corner, David Rumsey, and Dale Yoder Short. They close? Kerner. Joel,
Kerner.
and not Jeff. I really do need glasses.
Here. The pink will look great with your red sweater.
Okay, good.
The Keystone Kiwanis, sponsored by the Old Capitol Kiwanis.
Okay, and they are Carl Jacobson, Joanne Poots Mills, and Kathy Schwier.
The Headliners, sponsored by the Iowa City Gazette.
And they are Linda Alexander, Aaron Jordan, and Lyle Muller. They're back again, among some other people who are back.
This looks like a new group. The Webster and the Collegians, sponsored by the University of Iowa Community Credit Union.
And the spellers are Chris McLean, Carol Seacrest, and Ben Wright.
We have the Kirkwood Killer Bees. We've seen them before, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College.
And Kirkwood Killer Bee spellers are Betty Adams, Missy Molliston, and Sam Van Horn.
We have the Word Knowers by Buckle Down Publishing.
Again, we have a substitute here. We have Phil Mowell, is that right? Mall, okay. John Ham and Daniel Smith. I like those Ham and Smith names. Those are good.
We have the Walking Talking Dictionary, sponsored by the Bookend Committee.
And those spellers are Tom Hashman, Robin Lilly, and Sally Ostegard.
And we have the Coralville Public Library Buzzard, sponsored by Friends of the Coralville Public Library.
The spellers here are Ruth Halterman, Karen Hegland, and Mike Jorgensen.
Give yourselves a big hand.
Okay. Are we ready to go?
Thank you all so very much for coming out. I think you should get prizes just for the names of your teams. I
Yeah.
love the names.
We should get knocked down and knocked out for
For
mispronouncing.
not- That's why they have us do this and not spell. We can't even read names.
Okay, now we need to tell you about some of the rules. We're not going to read all of them, but we're going to read the important ones. The first round is different from the rest of the rounds, and we'll tell you about that. This is Rule 5. To help ensure that each member of each team has at least one chance to spell, the first round is considered to be a complete rotation of all three members of the competing teams. During this first round, a team can misspell one word and remain in competition until the team misses a second word. However, if a team misspells a second word during this first round, the team is eliminated, even if team member number 3 has not spelled. So the whole idea is to get everybody to spell, and if two people misspell in this first round, then the team goes out, but otherwise the team stays in. Did everybody get that?
There you go.
Okay, rule number 6, the pronouncer will pronounce the word, give the definition of the word, use it in a sentence, and pronounce it once more. Words used in Iowa City Spells will be selected from the 2002 Padilla, or edition of the Scripps-Howard Padilla, and from Webster's Third New International Dictionary.
I took the short rules. Rule number 7, team members may collaborate on the spelling of the word, but the designated speller must begin spelling within 20 seconds. That's that pink wand down there. And you must completely spell the word within 60 seconds.
So you can talk together as a team for 20 seconds, and then your speller, the designated speller has to spell without any assistance and must be done in 60 seconds, in the end of the full 60 seconds from the beginning. So it's 20 minutes and then 20 seconds and then 40 more seconds.
We really
Like
could
20
be here all
minutes,
night,
yeah.
couldn't we? Rule number 8, team members may ask for one additional pronunciation of the word, but no more.
Okay.
Any questions?
Are we all set to go? All right, let's go. Let's start the first round with the West High Spellcasters, is that it? Yep. West, and they're sponsored by Zaps Learning Company. Come on up. Come on up to the microphone.
and center.
Yep.
Oh, we didn't tell you you had to get up on stage, right? Okay.
And Ron will give you the first word here.
The first word is carbide, a binary compound of carbon with a more electropositive element. Carbon combines with metals to form several kinds of carbide, some of which are used in metal cutting tools. Carbide.
Carbide, C-A-R-B-I-D-E, carbide.
Correct.
Very good.
Excellent,
All
thank
right.
you. Next, the letterhead, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Nourishing. The definition is nutritious. Fresh fruits and vegetables are thought to be more nourishing than canned fruits and vegetables. Nourishing.
Nourishing. N-O-U-R-I-S-H-I-N-G. Nourishing.
Correct.
Very good.
Excellent. We would remind you, you have a little yellow paper that says your sponsor, and if, at least for the first couple of times you bring that up, it would be nice, and they would know what they've given money for. The spell checkers by Anonymous, who would be very pleased to see their name up there.
I think Anonymous will claim you if you win, so.
Status. Position or rank in relation to others. Fernando's status in the company changed dramatically after he completed his degree. Status.
Status, S-T-A-T-U-S,
Correct.
status.
Excellent. Act like spellers, Pogo and Friend. Once we get through the first round, we always find it goes faster. Then you're ready to jump up there.
Thanks, Pogo, wherever you are.
Flamingo. Any of several aquatic birds that have remarkably long legs and neck, webbed feet, and usually rosy white plumage. Tom placed a giant plastic flamingo on the roof of his school. Flamingo.
Flamingo, F-L-A-M-I-N-G-O.
Correct.
Flamingo.
The Spellbinders, Hoover School Teachers, sponsored by Dudley Brothers. And there's stairs on your right side.
Thank you. Apology. An admission to another of a wrong or discourtesy done him or her, accompanied by an expression of regret. The teacher received an apology from the tardy student. Apology.
I've never gotten one of those. Okay, apology. A-P-O-L-O-G-Y. Apology.
Correct.
The Knutson Spelunkers, sponsored by Knutson Construction Services. Isn't that what you are, the Spelunkers or Spelunkers? Spelunking Spelunkers.
Twinkly, beaming with lively feeling. Beth's twinkly grandpa is always ready with a good joke. Twinkly.
Go ahead.
TW, or Twinkly, Twinkly, Twinkly.
Correct.
Good job. The Savants, sponsored by McGrath Financial Services.
Variation, a solo dance in ballet. Eric choreographed a variation to be performed by the stars of his ballet company. Variation.
Variation, V-A-R-I-A-T-I-O-N, variation.
Correct.
There you go, Duke. The Women of Words, the WOW. It's sponsored by Julie Pokrabic of the Phelan Tucker Law Firm.
Sheaf, a quantity of arrows sufficient to fill a quiver. Also, the allowance of arrows, as 24, allotted to each archer. As a walk-on in the recently released movie, Jason handed Robin Hood a sheaf of arrows for his quiver. Sheaf.
Sheath, S-H-E-A-T-H.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect.
Okay, that's all right. That, you're still okay. You'll get another chance the next time around. Okay? All right. Now thinking Lincoln, the Lincoln school teachers. How was that? How was that spelled?
Sheaf is S-H-E-A-F.
Okay. I think like a sheaf of arrows, yeah. So we should let that go.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Lansing Funeral and Cremation Services sponsors the Thinkin' Lincoln, the Lincoln school teachers here,
Okay?
with substitute.
Perspective, the appearance to the eye of objects in respect to their relative distance and position. Perspective made the long rows of machines seem almost to meet. Perspective.
Perspective, P-E-R-S-P-E-C-T-I-V-E, perspective.
Correct.
Iowa Mennonite School, sponsored by McComas Lucina.
Quill, a bird's feather, especially one of the large stiff feathers of a bird's wing or tail. Jay found a beautiful quill and placed it alongside his mom's antique inkwell on her desk. Quill.
Quill, Q-U-I-L-L, quill.
Correct.
Keystone Kiwanis, sponsored by the Old Capitol Kiwanis.
Conversion, a change in one's religious orientation marked also by a concomitant change in belief. The conversion of St. Paul on the road to Damascus was a favorite topic of Renaissance painters. Conversion.
Conversion,
Conversion. Conversion.
Correct.
The headliners, sponsored by the Iowa City Gazette.
Dilute. Make less concentrated. Diminish the strength, activity, or flavor of. Because of the heat produced, caution is needed when using water to dilute concentrated sulfuric acid. Dilute.
Dilute. D-I-L-U-T-E. Dilute.
Correct.
Webster and the Collegians, sponsored by the Iowa City Community Credit Union.
Forgery. An act of falsely or Oh, dear. It's just the next word in the list. Forgery. An act of falsely or fraudulently making or altering a document. Lorna is charged with 2 counts of check forgery. Forgery.
Forgery. F-O-R-G-E-R-Y. Forgery.
Correct.
Excellent. That would have been a shame if that was missed. Here we go, the Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College. Great T-shirt, by the way.
Defendant. A person required to make answer in an action or suit in law or equity or in a criminal action. When the foreman of the jury read the verdict of not guilty, the defendant embraced his attorneys.
Defendant. D-E-F-E-N-D-A-N-T. Defendant.
Correct.
Very good. The Word Knowers, up next. The Word Knowers from Buckle Down Publishing. Yeah.
Flowage, an overflowing, as of a stream or impoundment, onto adjacent land. The flowage from a nearby creek into Mr. Goog's basement ruined his stamp collection. Flowage.
Flowage. F-L-O-W-A-G-E. Flowage.
Correct.
Very good. The Walking, Talking Dictionary, sponsored by the Bookend Committee.
Celebrate. Demonstrate grateful and happy satisfaction in, as an anniversary or event, by engaging in festivities, merrymaking, or other similar deviation from accustomed routine.
Celebrate.
About 100. I'm not done.
A little excited there. The Walking, Talking Dictionaries, what do you expect?
That's right. About 100 friends and relatives attended the party to celebrate Mom and Dad's 50th wedding's anniversary. Celebrate. Go.
Celebrate. C-E-L-E-B-R-A-T-E. Celebrate.
What took
Correct.
you so long? Great.
And the Coralville Public Library Buzzers, Friends of the Coralville Public Library.
And I hope they're friends of the Iowa City Public Library also.
Medicine. The science and art dealing with the maintenance of health and the prevention, alleviation, or cure of disease. Campbell knows that she would like to one day pursue a career in the field of medicine. Medicine.
Medicine, M-E-D-I-C-I-N-E, medicine.
Correct.
Very good. Okay, Maeve, do we have a special sound for this? Everybody's rotated once through. We go again, and we have a different, Excellent, that's it. We have a different speller, yeah?
Could we have, since those seem not terribly difficult, could we have one of Mrs. Moyer's words now?
Yeah, it's an audience
Just to
participation word. I'm sure
Give you
it'll be
something to
interesting.
think about.
These are easy, you guys.
No, they're really hard, is what they are. And I work hard to find these hard words for you all because we want to have one winner instead of a lot of winners. So these words are designed to sort you all out.
Fast.
Klabenleiben. Pathological reluctance to stop talking about a certain subject. About 15 minutes into their first session, the psychiatrist realized his new patient had Klabenleiben regarding shoes. Klabenleiben. I said
Okay.
it wrong in the sentence, I'm sorry. It's
I think we got a little
Klabenleiben.
Klabenleiben for the spelling bee here, then. So. Very good, okay. Now we have, go ahead, the West High spell checkers. Now a different person needs to spell the word, and same rules apply. And your sponsor is Zapp's Learning Company. Go ahead, Ron.
Caterpillar, the elongated worm-like larva of a butterfly or moth. The body surface hairs on the caterpillar in Jamie's hand contain a poisonous substance that causes intense itching. Caterpillar.
Caterpillar. Caterpillar. Caterpillar.
Correct.
Very good. Okay, the letterheads. Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees, the letterheads.
Hoisted, raised into position. By the use of a crane, the large stone was hoisted into place. Hoisted.
Hoisted. Hoisted. Hoisted.
Correct.
Very good. Spell checkers, sponsored by Anonymous.
Quadrangle, a square or rectangular enclosure or court, especially when surrounded by buildings, as in some schools and colleges. Norm sailed a pie tin across the quadrangle. Quadrangle.
Quadrangle, Quadrangle, quadrangle.
Correct.
Very good. And now they act like spellers, sponsored by Pogo and Friend.
Concept, thought, idea, notion. Julie's concept of an entertaining movie was not the same as her younger brother's. Concept.
Concept. Concept. Concept.
Correct.
Spellbinders, Hoover School Teachers.
Puppetry. Shows featuring small-scale figures of human or other living beings, often constructed with jointed limbs and moved, usually on a small stage, by a rod or by hand from below or by strings or wires from above. So Sophie's favorite entertainment at the fair was the puppetry. Puppetry.
Puppetry, Puppetry, puppetry.
Correct.
The Knutson Spelunkers, Knutson Construction Services sponsor. Or the Melliker family.
Credo, a confession of faith said or sung in Christian liturgies. Bach's B minor Mass contains a famous credo. Credo.
Go ahead.
Credo, C-R-E-D-O, Credo.
Correct.
Okay. Ms. Savants from McGrath Financial Services.
Inert, very slow to move or act, lifeless, sluggish. Peter could not tell if the inert hamster was near death or not. Inert.
Well, if we're in my house, oh, excuse me.
Inert, I-N-E-R-T, inert.
Correct.
And the Women of Words, the Wow Women, sponsored by Julie Polkrabic of Phelan Tucker Law Firm. Go ahead, Wow Women.
I'm afraid this one may relate to the hamster above. Putrid. In an advanced state of decomposition, rotten. The putrid heap of kitchen scraps will compost in no time. Putrid.
Putrid. P-U-T-R-I-D. Putrid.
Correct.
Oh, those Thinkin' Lincoln school teachers, sponsored by the Lansing Funeral and Cremation Services.
Indigo, a blue vat dye that was obtained originally from plants, as indigo plants or woad. The production of indigo was the major factor in South Carolina's early development. Indigo.
Indigo, I-N-D-I-G-O, indigo.
Correct.
Let's just pause 1 second for an audience participation word.
Please make it not relate to that hamster.
Messuage, a house together with its adjacent buildings and surrounding land. Pierre realized that his property would be classified as a messuage and not a farm by the real estate agent. Messuage.
Is that like a sandwich?
No.
Okay.
She spends all year looking for these words. She really does. Okay. Iowa Mennonite School, sponsored by McComas Lucina.
Hector, harass, intimidate, or harass, intimidate, bully, or domineer by bluster, scolding, or personal pressure. Some seniors like to hector underclassmen on the first day of school. Hector.
Hector, H-E-C-T-O-R, Hector.
Correct.
Very good.
Keystone Kiwanis, sponsored by Old Capital Kiwanis.
Engrossed, completely occupied or absorbed, as in engrossed by the spelling bee. Engrossed in her book, Mary did not hear her mother's repeated calls for her to come downstairs. Engrossed.
Engrossed, E-N-G-R-O-S-S-E-D, engrossed.
Correct.
The Headliners, sponsored by the Iowa City Gazette.
Parentage, descent from ancestors, lineage. The Earl asked his valet, "Can you tell me anything of the parentage of the lady in this photo?" Parentage.
Parentage. P-A-R-E-N-T-A-G-E. Parentage.
Correct.
Webster and the Collegians, sponsored by the Iowa City Community Credit Union.
University of
Oh,
Iowa Credit Union.
University of
Credit
Iowa
Union,
Community Credit Union. I was still thinking about forgery.
right. I was thinking about embezzlement myself.
Substitute, a person who takes the place of or acts for another. When Donald fouled out of the game, the coach decided to send in a substitute who had been warming the bench for weeks. Substitute.
Substitute. S-U-B-S-T-I-T-U-T-E.
Correct.
Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College. A perennial favorite here in the spelling bee.
Well, we should mention last year's news.
Yeah.
Controversy. A difference marked especially by the expression of opposing views. Dispute. Most television talk shows seem more interested in creating controversy than in trying to resolve it. Controversy.
Controversy, C-O-N-T-R-O-V-E-R-S-Y. Controversy.
Correct.
Okay. The word knowers, Buckle Down Publishing. Come on up.
Saturated. Having the greatest concentration that can remain under given conditions, as of temperature or pressure, in the presence of the dissolving substance. Raising the temperature of a saturated solution usually makes it no longer saturated because more solute can be dissolved at the higher temperature. Saturated.
Saturated. S-A-T-U-R-A-T-E-D. Saturated.
Correct.
Very good. The Walking Talking Dictionaries, sponsored by the Bookend Committee.
Vandalism. Willful or malicious destruction or defacement of things of beauty or of public or private property. The boys who knocked over the gravestones were eventually caught and charged with vandalism. Vandalism.
Vandalism, V-A-N-D-A-L-I-S-M, vandalism.
Correct.
Very good. And the Coralville Public Library Buzzers, sponsored by the Friends of the Coralville Public Library.
Tridental. Having the form of a three-pronged scepter or spear serving in classical mythology as the attribute or symbol of a sea god. It is easy to see that Paul's tridental prop is actually a modified pitchfork. Tridental.
Tridental, T-R-I-D-E-N-T-A-L, tridental.
Correct.
Okay. That's another round done. Our first round is another group of spellers. Now for the final group of spellers, but here's for an audience participation word first. Easy for me to say.
Okay. Sericious. Consisting of silk, having a silk-like luster. The dancer's skirt was beautifully sericious. Sericious.
That sounds like one we ought to know. Okay, now for the last speller of the group, West High Spellcasters, Zapp's Learning Company, the sponsor.
Endurance. An instance of long suffering as hardship or tribulation. On his sad face was an expression of suffering and endurance. Endurance.
Endurance. E-N-D-U-R-A-N-C-E. Endurance.
Correct.
Very good. The letterhead, Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Vindicate. Free from any question of error, dishonor, guilt, or negligence. Oliver felt the judge's decision would vindicate him completely. Vindicate.
Vindicate, V-I-N-D-I-C-A-T-E, vindicate.
Correct.
Very good. The spell checkers, sponsored by Anonymous.
Spectacles. Glasses that are supported by the ears and desperately needed by Ron. Who wrote that in here?
Bill.
And Bill. The pair of spectacles in the antique shop were very small, with round lenses and gold frames. Spectacles.
Spectacles, SPECTACLES, spectacles.
Correct.
Very good. Okay. Act Like Spellers, Buggo and Friends, sponsor.
Camelot. A time, place, or atmosphere of idyllic happiness. The assassination of President Kennedy is sometimes referred to as the end of Camelot. Camelot.
Camelot, capital C-A-M-E-L-O-T, Camelot.
Correct.
Very good.
Was that an important there? Ding? Okay. We just wanted to make sure we got the ding there. The Spellbinders are Hoover school teachers, sponsored by Dudley Brothers Company.
Bigotry. Obstinate and unreasoning attachment to one's own belief and opinions with intolerance of beliefs opposed to them. The school's International Relations Club strives to increase awareness of the present prevalence of bigotry. Bigotry.
Bigotry, B-I-G-O-T-R-Y, bigotry.
Correct.
Knudsen Spelunkers? Knudsen.
Spaghetti. A pasta made in solid strings of small diameter but larger than vermicelli. The specialty of the restaurant was spaghetti with meat sauce. Spaghetti.
Spaghetti, S-P-A-G-H-E-T-T-I, excuse me, E-T-T-I, yes, spaghetti.
Correct.
Savants. McGrath Financial Services.
Post-mortem. An examination of a body after death to determine the cause of death or the character and extent of changes produced by disease. The post-mortem revealed that the cause of death was asphyxiation. Post-mortem.
Postmortem, P-O-S-T-E-M-O-R-T-E-M, postmortem.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. It's P-O-S-T-M-O-R-T-E-M. There is no E between post and mortem.
Got a hamster again.
Our WOW women, Women of Words, sponsored by Julie Pokrovic of Phelan Tucker Law Firm.
Unerringly, in a faultless manner, with precision. Almost everyone leaving the theater felt that the play had been unerringly performed. Unerringly.
Unerringly, U-N-E-R-R-I-N-G-L-Y, unerringly.
Correct.
And those Thinkin' Lincoln school teachers, sponsored by the Lensing Funeral and Cremation Services.
Septuplets. A group of 7 offspring born at one birth. In November 1997, many people in the United States became fascinated with the birth of septuplets to a family in Iowa. Septuplets.
Septuplets, S-E-P-T-U-P LETS, septuplets.
Correct.
There's Iowa Mennonite School, sponsored by McComas Lucina.
Continuity, I'm sorry. The definition provided is not the one most commonly associated with this word. The script for a radio or television program, as of the introductory and transitional material used by an announcer or master of ceremonies. Mario's job is to write the continuity for the variety show. Continuity.
Continuity. CONTINUITY. Continuity.
Correct.
Very good. And now for a little more continuity, can we have an audience participation word? Thank you.
Thalassotherapy. An ocean cruise as therapy. John hoped his psychiatrist would prescribe thalassotherapy for his depression. Thalassotherapy.
Sounds like a therapy we could all use.
Yeah, I can't spell it, but it sounds
I want to
wonderful.
go
I'd
on
love to
one.
have
Yeah.
it.
All right, let's keep going with the Keystone Kiwanis, sponsored by the Old Catholic Kiwanis.
Recitalist. One who performs programs of vocal or instrumental music. The recitalist sang several romantic arias from various operas. Recitalist.
Recitalist, RECITALIST, recitalist.
Correct.
Very good. And the headliners from the Iowa City Gazette.
Apprehend. Take a person in legal process. Arrest. The police chief ordered the officers to apprehend the forger. Apprehend.
Apprehend, APPREHEND, apprehend.
Correct.
Webster and the Collegiates, the University of Iowa Community Credit Union sponsored. Which one of you is Webster?
Monastic. Secluded from earthly concerns and devoted to religion. Though many people enjoy a period of retreat from materialism and worldliness, real commitment to a monastic life is rare. Monastic.
Monastic. MONASTIC, monastic.
Correct.
Good.
The Kirkwood Killer Bees, and we should tell you that they are the reigning team.
Yeah,
From last year, they have
the title to.
the title to defend here.
Most of that team's not here, so.
Can't blame it on you, right?
Well, for you, I have a special one. No, it's the next word, I swear. Bibliotherapy. The use of selected reading materials as curative facilitators in medicine and in psychiatry. Also, guidance in the solution of personal problems through directed reading. The child psychologist spoke to the parent group about the effectiveness of bibliotherapy.
Bibliotherapy, BIBLIOTHERAPY, bibliotherapy.
Correct.
Now, I know we're in a library, Jennifer, but wouldn't you prefer that cruise to a little bibliotherapy?
Oops, we're not supposed to say that.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, Susan.
The Word Knowers, sponsored by Buckle Down Publishing.
Pheasant. Any of numerous large, often long-tailed and brilliantly colored Old World birds with legs adapted for running and scratching the ground where most of their food, as seeds or worms, is found. After a morning of hunting, Larry returned with a pheasant, 2 rabbits, and a wild duck. Pheasant.
Pheasant. P-H-E-A-S-A-N-T. Pheasant.
Correct.
Very good.
Those walking, talking dictionaries, sponsored by the Bookend Committee. Oops.
Ogre, a hideous giant represented in fairy tales and folklores as feeding on human beings. Monster. Jason wrote a tale about an ogre who lived under a bridge and feasted on every 10th person who crossed. Ogre.
Ogre. O-G-R-E. Ogre.
Correct.
And for the last of round 1, the Coralville Public Library Buzzers, sponsored by the Friends of the Coralville Public Library.
That's buzzers as in bees, not buzzards as in.
Yes. Burglary. The act of breaking into a building illegally, especially with intent to steal. More than once, Blake committed burglary to get money to pay his gambling debts. Burglary.
Burglary. B-U-R-G-L-A-R-Y. Burglary.
Correct.
Very good.
All right,
Now
the
that is-
end of round 1.
The end of round 1, and so everybody has had a chance to spell, and from here on out, if your team misspells, you're out. And so it gets serious now. Those "I can't believe I got such an easy word" looks are going to change to "I can't believe I got such a hard word," and so we're ready to go. Do we need an audience word?
I think so.
Another audience word.
Okay.
Rebullition. Renewed bubbling, boiling, or disturbance. After adding the rice to the boiling water, Sue stirred the pot, waiting for rebullition. Rebullition.
Isn't that sort of what we were doing with the rest of the rounds here? Stirring it up again? Okay, are you
Okay.
ready?
The West High Spellcasters, now not to put any pressure on anyone, but remember, if you miss this one, you're out, so. Ooh.
Now, are you West High students?
Yes.
And what grades are you in?
We're all seniors.
Seniors, excellent, okay, good luck.
Okay,
Conjugate. Yoked or joined together, especially in pairs, acting as if joined. In mathematics and physics, problems usually have conjugate solutions.
Conjugate. C-O-N-J-U-G-A-T-E. Conjugate.
Correct.
Excellent, there we go.
Letterheads, the Letterheads, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Castanets. A pair of rhythm instruments consisting of 2 shells made of ivory, wood, or plastic, which are fastened together to hang from the thumb and are clicked by other fingers. The flamenco dancers rapidly clicking castanets intrigued Tina. Castanets.
Castanets. C-A-S-T-A-N-E-T-S. Castanets.
Correct.
Act Like Spellers, sponsored by, the Spell Checkers, sorry. Sponsored by Anonymous, at least you know who you were.
Arraignment. An act of finding fault with. Denunciation. It seems that every few years there is a wholesale arraignment of existing educational standards. Arraignment.
Arraignment. A-R-R-A-I-G-N-M-E-N-T. Arraignment.
Correct.
All right. Now act like spellers. Pogo and Friends sponsors. Sorry for the false start.
Mandible. Any of various invertebrate mouthparts serving to hold or bite into food materials. Most insects use the mandible for crushing their food. Mandible.
Mandible. M-A-N-D-I-B-L-E. Mandible.
Correct.
The Spellbinders, the Hoover School teachers, sponsored by Dudley Brothers.
Paralysis. A state of powerlessness or inactivity. A sort of paralysis overcame the frightened child. Paralysis.
Paralysis. P-A-R-A-L-Y-S-I-S. Paralysis.
Correct.
The Knutson Spelunkers, sponsored by Knutson Construction Services, also known as the Partial Melliker family.
Pavilion. A large, often sumptuous tent. The servants scurried to set up the Queen's pavilion before the sun went down. Pavilion.
Your turn. Oh, pavilion, P-A-V-I-L-L-I-O-N, pavilion.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. There's a single L.
Oh. Sorry, way to go. It's Dave's fault.
That's right. Savants, sponsored by McGrath Financial Services.
Marionette. A puppet moved by strings or by hand, as in a puppet show. A marionette of Jay Leno was the hit of the show. Marionette.
Marionette. M-A-R-I-O-N-E-T-T-E. Marionette.
Correct.
The Women of Words, or the WOW team, sponsored by Julie Polkrabic of the Phelan Tucker Law Firm. In years past, this team has had so many names in the law firm that it's taken us half the spelling bee just to say you're sponsored, but we've heard it.
Alabaster. Of or resembling alabaster, specifically having a nearly white color and a light diffusing surface. Patsy's alabaster skin gives her a spectral appearance. Alabaster.
Alabaster. A-L-I-B-A-S-T-O-R.
I'm afraid that's incorrect.
You have to, before your completed spelling, you have to say the word again. So, it was incorrect. The correct spelling is?
A-L-A-B-A-S-T-E-R.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Good job, Women of Words. Lincoln Lincoln. Sponsored by the Lunsing Funeral and Cremation Services.
Penitentiary. A public institution in which offenders against the law are confined for detention or for punishment, discipline, and reformation, and in which they are generally compelled to labor. The judge sentenced the robber to 25 years in the penitentiary. Penitentiary.
Okay. Penitentiary, P-E-N-I-T-E-N, T-I-A-R-Y, penitentiary.
Correct.
The Iowa Mennonite School, sponsored by McComas Lucina.
And you guys are students at Iowa Mennonite? What grades? Oh, come on. He's been a student there for a long time.
Basilisk, a legendary reptile that has a fatal breath and glance. Jessie debated whether to incorporate a basilisk or a poisonous snake into her fable. Basilisk.
Okay. Basilisk. B-A-S-I-L-I-S-K. Basilisk.
Correct.
Oh, very good. Okay, have you read the Harry Potter book? No, because anybody who read that book would know that word.
And now that we've taken a break, Mrs. Moyers, hit us with one of those easy words you've found.
Crapadine. Crapadine. Swinging on top and bottom pivots like a door. Anita installed the Crapadine door for her dog. Crapadine.
I think that.
Don't say what you're thinking. I know you, Bill. We'll just move right along with the Keystone Kiwanis, and sponsored by the Old Capitol Kiwanis.
Antipathies, settled aversions or dislikes. George Washington warned of the consequences of having permanent, inveterate antipathies against particular nations. Antipathies.
Antipathies. A-N-T-I-P-A-T-H-I-E-S. Antipathies.
Correct.
The headliners, sponsored by the Iowa City Gazette.
Now, this is kind of a grudge match for the headliners, because last year everybody else had words like and the, and they had hypothalamus or something. And so they're back to reclaim their dignity.
Yeah.
Affluorescence, is that what it was? See, it was a memorable experience. I want you to note out there that was how old are you? A 12-year-old who remembered that word.
His mother misspelled it.
His mother.
Well, I think you'll probably like the next word on the list. Fedora. A soft felt hat with a low crown, creased lengthwise and with or without a high roll on the side brim. Brent stepped into the spotlight and pulled his fedora low over one eye. Fedora.
Spell checking. Fedora, F-E-D-O-R-A. Fedora.
Correct.
Webster and the Collegiates, sponsored by the University of Iowa Community Credit Union.
Petrogeny, the science of the origin of rocks. A vacation trip to the Grand Canyon sparked Lauren's interest in petrogeny. Petrogeny.
Petrogeny. P-E-T-R-O-G-E-N-Y. Petrogeny.
Correct.
Okay, Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College.
Chrysalis, an insect as a butterfly or moth in the pupal stage of its development, in which it is enclosed in a firm case. Bob and Sam put the chrysalis in a dry container and kept it in the hope that a butterfly would later emerge. Chrysalis.
Chrysalis. CHRYSALIS. Chrysalis.
Correct.
The Word Knowers, Buckle Down Publishing Company. Now, are any of you from the award-winning United Way Cool of Johnson County? None of you. So
We haven't been for 2 years.
you have
Evolved.
evolved. Okay. But are any of you of the original team? No. Okay. All right. Well, they were winners. They won several times. Yep.
Yeah, but not
As
us.
these guys, I'm sure, will be.
But why would you let us forget that?
Psychological scars.
Every
might be.
time.
Yes.
Kestrel, a common small European falcon. Sean found an injured kestrel on the roof of the library. Kestrel.
Kestrel. Kestrel. Kestrel.
Correct.
The Walking Talking Dictionary, sponsored by the Bookend Committee.
Onyx, of the color jet black. The teacher told the school children that space looks onyx from the shuttle. Onyx.
Onyx. ONYX. Onyx.
Correct.
And the Coralville Public Library Buzzers, sponsored by Friends of the Coralville Public Library.
Impalpable. Incapable of being felt by the touch. The puppy began chasing his impalpable shadow. Impalpable.
Impalpable. IMPALPABLE. Impalpable.
Correct.
All right, the end of round 2. Excellent. So we'll just throw out another one of those wonderful words.
Okay.
Okay.
Acreon. A substance secreted by certain butterflies, making them unpalatable to their enemies. The botanist found acreon on the leaf where the yellow butterfly had just been. Acreon.
Use some of that. All right, now we have 15 teams left. Go ahead, West High Spellcasters. They're up there, ready to go. Sponsored by Zapp's Learning Company.
Eupeptic. Cheerful, optimistic. The eupeptic president put the people at ease about the nation's economy. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Eupeptic.
Eupeptic. EUPEPTIC. Eupeptic.
Correct.
All right, way to go. The letterheads, the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees sponsors.
Oscillation. A swinging or moving backward and forward like a pendulum. Engineers specified that slots be constructed in the deck of the bridge to reduce oscillation. Oscillation.
Oscillation. OSCILLATION. Oscillation.
Correct.
Very good.
Excellent. Spell Checker, sponsored by Anonymous.
Do you know who your sponsor is?
How could we?
Okay.
They're anonymous.
Turpitude. Inherent baseness or vileness of principle, words, or actions. Depravity. Sean accused Amitab of moral turpitude for teasing the cat. Turpitude.
Turpitude. Turpitude. Turpitude.
Correct.
There we go. All right. Act Like Spellers, Pogo and Friend sponsor.
Mariachi, a group of Mexican folk musicians, usually consisting of singers, guitarists, and a violinist. On weekends, the mariachi entertained diners at the Mexican restaurant. Mariachi.
Mariachi. M-A-R-I-A-C-H-I. Mariachi.
Correct.
And if you don't go home winners, just think of the exercise you get jumping up and down off this platform.
Come on up.
Spellbinders, the Hoover School teachers are up there and ready to go, sponsored by Dudley Brothers.
Somehow this next word seems appropriate. Inculcate. Teach and impress by frequent repetitions or admonitions. Religion is professed and practiced in various forms, yet most of them inculcate honesty, truth, temperance, gratitude, and the love of humanity. Inculcate.
Inculcate. I-N-C-U-L-C-A-T-E. Inculcate.
Correct.
Very good. And the savants. Go ahead, Duke, come on up. It's the savants. Sponsored by McGrath Financial Services, and this is Mr. McGrath right here.
Rhododendron. Any of various plants of the genus Rhododendron with persistent leathery leaves and bell-shaped flowers. Evan's mother plants a rhododendron along the driveway every year on his birthday. Rhododendron.
Rhododendron. R-H-O-D-O-D-E-N-D-R-O-N. R-H-O. Rhododendron. I'm not going to spell it again.
Correct.
The drama. Thinking Lincoln, the Lincoln School teachers, sponsored by Lunsing Funeral and Cremation Service. There was a little Lincoln student here a little bit earlier, wasn't there, in the form of young Mr. Payne?
Elysium, the dwelling place of happy souls after death, as conceived by the ancient Greeks and Romans. Greek tales about the afterlife seem to focus more on Hades than on Elysium.
May we have one more pronunciation, please?
Elysium.
Elysium? Elysian.
No, that's the Elysian fields, relating to Elysium, which is what
There we go.
you're asked to spell.
Get it spelled.
Elysium. E-L-Y-S-I-A-M. Elysium?
I'm afraid it's E-L-Y-S-I-U-M.
Nice try, Lincoln. Thanking Lincoln. Faithful spellers every year in the spelling bee. Thank you so much. Iowa Mennonite School, sponsored by McComas Lucina.
Formaldehyde, an aqueous solution that is used chiefly as a disinfectant and preservative. The medical laboratory contains specimens preserved in formaldehyde. Formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde. Formaldehyde. Formaldehyde.
Correct.
The Keystone Kiwanis, sponsored by Old Capitol Kiwanis.
Viridity, the quality or state of being green, the color of grass or foliage. Zoysia grass is known for its lack of viridity in cool months. Viridity.
Viridity. Veridity. Viridity.
Correct.
The headliner, sponsored by the Iowa City Gazette.
Stygian, characteristic of death. A black robe, a papier-mâché sickle, and some grayish makeup completed Sean's Stygian Halloween costume. Stygian.
Stygian. Stygian. Stygian.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. Webster and the Collegiates, sponsored by the University of Iowa Community Credit Union.
Nephoscope, an instrument for observing the direction of motion and velocity of clouds. Mr. Tadius explained to his new assistant how the nephoscope worked. Nephoscope.
Nethoscope. Nethyscope. Nethoscope.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. It's nephoscope. Nephoscope.
Webster, nice job, Webster, getting the collegiates. Kirkwood Killer Bees. Tension is mounting.
Philobiblist.
Oh.
A lover of books. The philobiblist had stacks of books throughout the house, even in the kitchen sink. Philobiblist.
Philobiblist. Philobiblist. Philobiblist.
Correct.
Okay, let's have another one of Miss Kathy's words.
Acomia. Baldness. Brushing his hair one morning, Peter realized he was facing acomia in a few years. Acomia.
We'll make you joke about that one either.
Okay. Word Knowers, sponsored by Buckle Down Publishing.
Chicanery, deception by artful subterfuge or misrepresentation, trickery. The mayor was dogged by allegations of financial chicanery and links to organized crime. Chicanery.
Chicanery. CHICANERY. Chicanery.
Correct.
Okay, those walking, talking dictionaries, sponsored by the Bookend Committee.
The smile's the best part of it.
Saboreal, very cold, approaching the frigid. Hope grew up in Florida and finds it very difficult to live in what she calls the saboreal climate of Iowa. Actually, it's Minnesota, but saboreal.
Saboreal. SUBBOREAL. Saboreal.
Correct.
Wow.
And our last group in round 3, the Coralville Public Library Buzzers, Friends of the Coralville Public Library sponsors.
Infrangible, not capable of being broken or separated into parts. Though it looks like the finest china, Jennifer's teapot is made of infrangible polymer. Infrangible.
Infrangible. INFRANGIBLE. Infrangible.
Correct.
All right, that's the end of the third round here, and so we're ready for the fourth. It's heating up. We are down to 13 teams. That's an interesting number, and so let's go ahead. The West High Spellcasters, sponsored by Zapp's Learning Company.
Corybantic, like or in the spirit of the attendants or priests of the nature goddess Sybil, noted for wildly emotional processions and rites, specifically wild frenzied. At the rock concert, many fans engaged in corybantic dancing. Corybantic.
Corybantic. CORYBANTIC. Corybantic.
Correct.
Oh, wow. Yeah, wouldn't you know, a bunch of high school girls would know that word. That's a party word.
The Letterhead, sponsored by Iowa City Public Library.
Anathema, one that is cursed by ecclesiastical authority. The Sixth Ecumenical Council pronounced Pope Honorius anathema in AD 681. Anathema.
Anathema. ANATHEMA. Anathema.
Correct.
Spell Checkers, our anonymously sponsored group.
Nonagesimal, being number 90 in a countable series. The party for the Queen Mother's nonagesimal birthday paled in comparison with the celebration honoring her 100th birthday. Nonagesimal.
Nonagesimal. NONAGESIMAL. Nonagesimal.
Correct.
And the Act Like Spellers, sponsored by Pogo and Friend.
Halcyon, pleasingly or idyllically calm or peaceful, serene. Aaron spent the halcyon afternoon in his hammock. Halcyon.
Halcyon. Halcyon. Halcyon.
Correct.
Spellbinders for school teachers, sponsored by Dudley Brothers Company.
Sauerbraten. Oven roasted or pot roasted beef, marinated in a vinegar solution with peppercorns, garlic, onions, and bay leaves before cooking. Phil's favorite German restaurants features Sauerbraten during Oktoberfest. Sauerbraten.
Sauerbraten, Sauerbraten, Sauerbraten.
Correct.
I'm still up here trying to just say them in my mind, and they're all going, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. So, on that note, Kathy?
Effleurage, a gentle rubbing of the palm of the hand, or a gentle rubbing with the palm of the hand. Along with other massage techniques, Larry and Linda learned about effleurage in Lamaze class. Effleurage.
So Betsy and Bill and John and Jennifer and Kathy and John and about everybody else in this room. One, at least we know the word here, that's good. Okay, we need the savants up here, sponsored by McGrath Financial Services.
Parthenogenesis. Reproduction that involves development of a gamete without fertilization. Parthenogenesis occurs commonly among some stick insect species. Parthenogenesis.
The pronunciation one more time.
Parthenogenesis.
Parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis.
Correct.
Iowa Mennonite School, sponsored by McComas Lucina.
I have to say, the last speller, when she heard her word, had this look like, I can't believe that's a word. So she was,
Maudlin. Tearfully or weakly emotional, effusively sentimental. Brian allowed himself to become maudlin only on St. Patrick's Day. Maudlin.
Maudlin, M-A-U-D-L-I-N, Maudlin.
Correct.
The Keystone Kiwanis, sponsored by the Old Capitol Kiwanis.
Pirouette. A full turn on the toe or ball of one's foot in ballet. The pirouette is one of the most striking movements in a dancer's repertoire. Pirouette.
Pirouette. P-I-R-O-U-E-T-T-E. Pirouette.
Correct.
very good. The headliners, the Iowa City Gazette headliners. Quit reporting, Linda, and get up here.
Hebdomad, a group of 7. Though some people think there is just a hebdomad of stars in the Pleiades, there are actually many more. Hebdomad.
Hebdomad. H-E-B-D-A-M-I-D. Hebdomad.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. H-E-B-D-O-M-A-D.
Oh. Nice job, headliners. See you next year. Okay, and now we're ready for the Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Sacristan, an officer of a church in charge of the room where the sacred utensils and vestments are kept. The sacristan counted the communion plates at the end of the service and stacked them on a shelf. Sacristan.
Sacristan, S-A-C-R-I-S-T-A-N, sacristan.
Correct.
The Word Knowers, sponsored by Buckle Down Publishing.
Heliacal, relating to or near the sun, used especially of the last setting of a excuse me, of a star before and its first rising after invisibility due to conjunction with the sun. The Egyptian rural year was determined by the heliacal rising of Sirius. Heliacal.
Heliacal. H-E-L-I-A-C-A-L. Heliacal.
Correct.
Very good. The Walking and Talking Dictionary, sponsored by the Bookend Committee. I'm going to put a plug in for the Bookend here. The Bookend is a used bookstore here at the library, a very great thing. It raises a lot of money for the library, for the collection. Thank you.
Viscera, internal organs of the body. While on safari, the tourists passed a group of vultures feeding on the viscera of a dead zebra. Viscera.
Viscera. V-I-S-C-E-R-A. Viscera.
Correct.
Woo!
And the Coralville Public Library buzzers, sponsored by the Friends of the Coralville Public Library.
Cephalic, of or relating to the head. The cephalic veins in the arm are so called because it was once believed that they were related to certain ailments of the head. Cephalic.
Cephalic, S-E-P-H-A-L-L-I-C, cephalic.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. It's C-E-P-H-A-L-I-C.
Oh. Nice try, Coralville. Thank you, buzzers. Nice try.
Okay, the last one.
Okay, one last audience participation word from
And
Mrs.
then we have
Moyes.
them hand them in and.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Mignonette. It's an adjective. Small or delicate, and as a noun, it's a type size. Terry decided to use mignonette for the latest printing of the brochure. Mignonette.
Okay, now, when you're done spelling, audience, for your audience participation words, you hand them over here to Gail, who's the woman in the purple jacket over here, Gail Warner, who's in the development office at the library here, a big help to all of us at the spelling bee here. And she's got, so hand them over to the.
Just
to Gail.
hold them up in the air
Hold them
and,
up, she'll pick
and
them up.
she'll collect them
Yep.
or pass them toward her.
Okay, good, great. All right, we're on round 5. We are down to 11 teams, and the West High girls are anxious to get up there, so go ahead.
They are.
The
Now,
West
a
Side-
minute ago, one of them had on a cape and a little, and she
Why?
took
Yeah,
that
we
off.
have to keep the line.
Oh, all right, all right. Now that we've embarrassed you enough, right?
Sponsored by Zapp's Learning Company.
Vinaceous, of the color wine red. The vinaceous liquid in the 3-foot-high bottle at the restaurant is not really wine. Vinaceous.
Vinacious. V-I-N-A-C-I-O-U-S. Vinacious.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. It's V-I-N-A-C-E
Oh, nice try, Wes. Very proud of you. Now, I need to make one announcement here for anybody who's been wanting to know. As you know, there was an election tonight, and the school bond issue passed by 71%. Thank you, Betsy Dwight, for that news. Yeah, we're all very excited. Sorry. Okay, the letterhead. Not to take anything from you.
Thoracic. Of, relating to, located within, or involving the part of the body of humans and other mammals located between the neck and the abdomen. The thoracic nerve controls the muscles in the walls of the thorax. Thoracic.
Thoracic. Thoracic. Thoracic.
Correct.
Very good.
Spell checkers on their way up. Sponsored by Anonymous.
Another plug I'd like to make for the library here is that you can, don't forget the book sale to benefit the bookend, Tuesday from noon to 5. This Tuesday, this would be February 18th, 19th? What? 18th?
Well,
Whatever.
check your calendar. It's Tuesday.
Tuesday. And if it's not February, forget it.
I'm sorry, but this really is the next word on the list. Arachnophagous. Feeding on spiders. Jill's contribution to the discussion about arachnophagous creatures was that there were not enough of them. Arachnophagous.
Arachnophagous. Arachphageous. Starting again. Arachnophagous. Arachnaphagous. Arachnophagous.
I'm afraid that's incorrect.
Oh.
Arachnophagous.
One letter. Oh. Thank you, spell checkers. I'm sure Anonymous is proud of you. Act Like Spellers, the next, sponsored by Pogo and Friend.
Hauberk. A long tunic of ring or chain mail that with a close-fitting helmet and a shield constituted the main defensive armor of the 12th to 14th century. Most of the Norman soldiers wore a hauberk, which was put on over the head. Hauberk.
Okay. Hoberk. Hoberk. Hoberk.
That's the way it sounds, but it's Hauberk.
Oh.
So instead of the O, it's A-U.
Well, I'd say they did more than act like spellers. They were great spellers. Okay, Hoover's school teachers, they're going like flies, not to put the pressure on them. And you've got students here.
Yeah, we know.
Ephemerid, a mayfly. An ephemerid has membranous wings that fold flat over the back. Ephemerid.
Could you please say it one more time?
Ephemerid.
Okay, go ahead. Ephemerid. Ephemerid. Ephemerid.
Very close.
Oh.
Epheme. R-I-D.
Oh, nice try. Spellbinding, excellent job. Thank you. The Savants, sponsored by McGrath Financial Services.
Alembic, an apparatus usually made of glass or metal, formerly much used in distillation. The sorcerer used an alembic in concocting the invisibility potion. Alembic.
One more time, please.
Alembic.
Alembic. A-L-E-M-B-I-C. Alembic.
Correct.
Iowa Mennonite School, McComas Lucina.
Capote. A small Victorian bonnet with tie strings and varied trimmings. Martha trimmed her capote with colorful embroideries for festive occasions. Capote.
Capote. C-A-P-O-T-E. Capote.
Correct.
Okay, Keystone Kiwanis. Old Capitol Kiwanis.
Sessile. Permanently attached, not free to move about. Sea anemones are sessile and must wait for food to come to them. Sessile.
Cecil. C-E-C-I-L-E. Cecil.
I'm afraid it's S-E-S-S-I-L-E.
Okay, not bad. Thank you. Keystone Kiwanis. Excellent job. Way to hang in there. And next is the Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Hyaloid. Glassy, transparent. The hyaloid membrane envelops the vitreous humor of the eye. Hyaloid. Hyaloid.
Hyaloid. H-Y-A-L-O-I-D. Hyaloid.
Correct.
Excellent job. And the Kirkwood Killer, oh, this we just.
The
we
Word
had
Knowers
Word Knowers.
by Buckle Down Publishing.
Sanguinolent. Of, containing, or tinged with blood. Theo's phlegm became sanguinolent for a while from bronchitis. Sanguinolent. Sanguinolent.
Sanguinolent. S-A-N-G-U-I-O-L-E-N-T. Sanguinolent.
That's incorrect. It's, you omitted an N. I almost feel like you meant to say it, but it wasn't there. Sangui, and there should be an N here, Olent.
Oh, nice job, word knowers. Nice job. Excellent work. Walking, talking dictionaries. Where's the sign? That's all right. They are sponsored by the Bookend Committee.
Quatrefoil, a conventionalized representation of a flower with 4 petals, or of a leaf with 4 leaflets. The Gothic window featured a quatrefoil at the top of its arch. Quatrefoil.
Can I have one more pronunciation?
Quatrefoil.
Quatrefoil, Quatrafoil, quatrefoil.
That is incorrect. It's quatra, Quatreffoil.
Oh, nice try.
Nice-
Walking, talking
nice try.
dictionaries. Thank you, good job. Good job. Okay, that's the end of round 5. We have a winner from the, and it's kind of remarkable, from the audience participation is Carolyn Van Zandt. Is Van Zandt? Is that right? Yeah. Which is the West High girl. She's an English teacher at West High, so congratulations. She got 4 words right. That's pretty good. Great. Okay.
We are down to 4 teams. Now, don't leave, because we do have prizes and things at the end, and let's keep cheering for these, but those words do seem to be getting a little harder. So here we go. Ready? Deep breath. The letterheads, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Chiffonade, shredded or finely cut vegetables used in soup or salad dressing. Lettuce and sorrel are often made into chiffonade to garnish soups. Chiffonade.
Chiffonade, Chiffonade. Chiffonade.
Correct.
Okay, the Savants. The Savants, it's you next. The McGrath, sponsored by McGrath Financial Services. The letterheads, we may have forgotten to tell you, were the Iowa City Board of Trustees, the Library Board of Trustees.
Myrmecology, a scientific study of ants. Receiving an ant farm for Christmas was the beginning of Art's interest in myrmecology. Myrmecology.
One more, please.
Myrmecology.
Myrmecology. Myrmicology. Myrmecology.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. M-Y-R. M-E-C-O-L-O-G-Y.
Oh, nice try, Savant. Good work. You hung in there. Iowa Mennonite School is next. Sponsored by McComas Lucina.
Bivouac, a camping out for a night. Private Slater packed a peanut butter sandwich for his bivouac. Bivouac.
Bivouac, B-I-V-O-U-A-C, bivouac.
Correct.
And now the Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Gestalt, a structure of physical, biological, or psychological phenomena so integrated as to constitute a functional unit with properties not derivable from its parts or summation. Lieutenant Henry's many experiences as a prisoner of war formed a gestalt from which he may never recover. Gestalt.
Gestalt. G-E-S-T-A-L-T. Gestalt.
I'm sorry, would you repeat that, please?
G-E-S-T-A-L-T.
Okay.
Gestalt.
That is correct. I thought I heard an E on the end of it the first time.
You get something. Good job.
All
Okay,
right.
round 7, we're down to 3. It's getting tense here.
Is this a record? Have we gone to round 7 before?
I don't know.
Have we? Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, a lot
okay,
of people
no
out there
problem.
going,
Letterheads. Ooh, whoops,
Yeah.
you're up again.
Yeah.
Churrasco. Beef broiled on a spit over an open fire or grilled under an oven flame. At the barbecue, the whole family feasted on the churrasco that Dad cooked. Churrasco.
Okay, go with that.
Churrasco, C-H-U-R-R-A-S-C-O, Churrasco.
Correct.
Iowa Mennonite School.
Repechage. A second chance trial heat, as in Olympic rowing, in which losers in the first round of competition are given another chance to qualify for the semifinals. Luigi fell behind in the first heat of the single sculls, but he hoped to make up for it in the repechage. Repechage.
Repechage. R-E-P-E-C-H-A-S-E. Repechage.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. R-E-P-E-C-H-A-G-E.
Nice try. The Iowa Mennonite team always hangs out to the end. They're always one of the last. So we're down to 2. So actually, we need to change the rules a little bit here. Okay, when the teams are reduced to 2, the elimination procedure changes. Listen carefully, because this is very important. When a team misspells a word, the other team shall be given an opportunity to spell that same word. If the second team spells that word correctly, plus the next word on the pronouncer's list, that team shall be declared the winner. If one of the last 2 teams misses and the other team, after correcting the error, misspells the new word, then the misspelled new word shall be referred to the first team. If that team succeeds in correcting the error and then correctly spells the next word on the pronouncer's list, that team shall be declared the winner. Okay, clear so far, right? Okay. If both teams misspell the word, both shall continue in the contest, and the team that first misspelled the word shall be given a new word to spell. The competition shall continue as in 10A and B above, which is what we just did. So, go ahead.
That's why we're the MCs and they're the judges. They've been sitting there complacently all evening. Now it's your turn.
We told them they didn't have to do anything. We lied. Okay, let's get the killer bees and the letterheads up here.
Kirkwood Killer Bees, and I believe it's whose turn? Kirkwood Killer Bees?
Yes.
Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Hey, you can come on up here and stand.
You can come right up here if you want.
Okay. Sac-a-lait. A crappie that is typically smaller and more silvery than the black crappie, and that is highly esteemed as a food fish. Ray and Maura went to the French Quarter to dine on sac-a-lait and cornbread. Sac-a-lait.
Sac-a-lait. S-A-C-A-L-A-I-T. Sac-a-lait.
Correct.
All right. Now, that doesn't have anything to do with that dog door, though, does it? Okay.
No.
Okay, go on up. The letterheads are next.
Ecchymosis, the escape of blood into the tissues from ruptured blood vessels marked by a livid black and blue or purple spot or area. A black eye results from ecchymosis. Ecchymosis.
Ecchymosis, E-C-H-Y-M-O-S-I-S, ecchymosis.
I'm afraid that's incorrect.
Okay, so the other two, the Kirkwood Killer Bees, get a chance at this word.
Ecchymosis. E-C-C-H-Y-M-O-S-I-S. Ecchymosis.
Correct.
Okay. Now, the Kirkwood Killer Bees get the next word. The Kirkwood Killer Bees get the next word.
Riant, pleasingly mirthful. The riant hostess spread good cheer from guest to guest throughout the evening. Riant,
Riant. R-I-A-N-T. Riant.
that's correct.
We have a winner. The Kirkwood Killer Bees. Okay, tell us, Kirkwood Killer Bees, the 2003 Spelling Bee champions. Did you study? I mean, you must have studied hard for this. You studied it.
About the first 8 pages.
First 8 pages. Good thing we didn't get to page 9.
I studied after I got home from work.
Okay, the third place is it? It's Iowa Mennonite School, isn't it? Okay. Third place, would you like to come up here? It's Iowa Mennonite School. Beautiful packages from gift bags from the library. I don't think they.
Thank you. Thank you
They're books and gift certificates. Thank you. Way to go, Iowa Mennonite School. Second place, the letterheads. The Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees is proud of you, I'm sure. And again, bags, gift certificates, books, ribbons. And once again, the 2003 champions, the Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College. And your name will be engraved on this plaque. It'll be permanently in the library. A huge honor.
On the plaque, so big challenge for you next year to come back and take this title away from them. Yeah, they'll study 9 pages, so there's a clue. Thank you all so
Okay.
much.
Thank you, everybody, for coming to the 2003 Spelling Bee. Next year, it will be somewhere else, but we'll have it, so get your teams going. Thanks.